Hello, everyone. I'm Blaine Gilmer. Welcome to Southeastern 14, where we cover all things SEC on a daily basis here. So if you want daily coverage of the best conference in all of college sports, then make sure you like, subscribe, turn on notifications. And we're going to get right into Alabama. A lot of talk about the Alabama quarterbacks here in 2023 as we're in fall camp. The first scrimmage has come and gone. Nick Saban yet to have named a starter. There are people up in arms, and everybody is wanting to see who is going to be the person that takes the first snap when it comes time for Alabama to open the year against Middle Tennessee State. And then more importantly, that second game against Texas. Who is going to be the signal caller? Listen, guys, that is one way to look at it, being like, hey, who's the starting quarterback going to be? But I think Alabama has totally different issues, and we'll get into those in just a minute. But on the quarterback front, I think that when you look at this, there was a reason that Jalen Milroe played over Ty Simpson last year. Ty Simpson was not ready to step into that role when Bryce Young went down. Jalen Milroe had been there, and they elected to go with him. And, you know, he's an athletic quarterback, but he is still a quarterback. There are reports out there that he has gotten more consistent in throwing the football. There is improvement there. Nick Saban lamented some wide receiver drop issues. Listen, do I think this is a epidemic amongst the Alabama wide receivers, something that is going to harm them from here to the end of the year with wide receivers dropping balls? I do not. I think that they will get consistent play out of those wide receivers. People, I mean, goodness gracious, just look at the talent that they have. Do I think there's a household name out there at wide receiver like a Waddle, like a Judy, a Ruggs, a Ridley, a Cooper, any of these kind of guys, Devonta Smith? No, I don't think there's one right there right now, but I'm not saying there can't be. Alabama is still Alabama and has recruited at an incredibly high level. I think when you look at the culmination of you put all the pieces together of Isaiah Bond, of Kobe Prentice, of Kendrick Law, of Emmanuel Henderson, of course, Ja'Cory Brooks and Jermaine Burton, I think you have as talented as a wide receiver core as anybody out there. Malik Benson also adds into the mix as a transfer wide receiver that's expected to make a big impact. I do not see that being an overall problem. And at the end of the day, you just have to find which quarterback, whether it's going to be Milroe or Simpson, because I don't think Tyler Buchner is in this conversation. We'll get to that in just a minute. Is it going to be Milroe or Simpson that is more consistent, that gives the wide receivers a chance to make plays? Okay, because Alabama is looking to be able to run the football effectively first and foremost this year. They want to get back to that, having that toughness. J.C. Latham's up to 360 pounds, he said in his press conference. You know, that's not necessarily the greatest for your pass blocking mobility. Okay, he's trying to get up his weight a little bit, be able to lean on people, things like that. Now, I think he'll be just fine, plenty agile enough to pass protect. But when I hear these linemen adding weight like that up into the 350s and 360s, they're getting ready to lean on people a little bit. They're getting ready to assert their dominance and set the tone in the run game. Alabama has the running backs to do that this year. I think that Jalen Milroe has the most experience. I think he'll get the first shot. He's doing just fine running with the ones right now, and he ran with the ones all throughout spring. So I don't see why there's this big controversy. I think you're going to see Jalen Milroe get the first shot here at quarterback, and then Ty Simpson is there if you need him. Listen, Alabama has multiple quarterbacks, and I'm saying 3 because I don't think Tyler Buchner is in that conversation. I think Dylan Lonergan, a freshman from Brookwood High School out of Snellville, Georgia, I think he is the guy who you have to look out for. He got some reps with the ones in the scrimmage for people who didn't know. He also got reps with the ones at Alabama's practice on Monday. That comes from a source that's directly involved over there and has had eyes on things at the scrimmage, had eyes on things at practice. Dylan Lonergan is a guy that you need to know going forward for Alabama, and I wouldn't be shocked if he ends up getting some good playing time before the year is over with. But Jalen Milroe, Ty Simpson, Dylan Lonergan, that is not your concern if you're an Alabama fan. Your concern is this offensive line, because other than Seth McLaughlin, Darren Dalcourt he's started for a couple of years, but he's been injury plagued last year. Okay. But Elijah Pritchett, Tyler Booker, we don't know exactly. I mean, Tyler Booker played a good bit, but do we feel like these are absolute 100% proven products? No. JC Latham at times did some really, really good things. Okay. But once again, I think you have 5 guys that you just feel okay about. I don't think you feel over the moon. And then the depth behind them is a total crapshoot. There's not 3 guys over there that I don't think Nick Saban is like, if you had to tell him, hey, we're gonna have to roll these guys in here, something's gonna happen and we're gonna have to go with these 3 in here. I don't think he's gonna feel very good about that. The depth at offensive line and the quality of the starters at the offensive line, I don't think is up to what Alabama's standard is. They've been recruiting well in terms of recently. They've got some big time freshmen that have came in. Caden Proctor, Miles McVay, Alessa Lennon, Wilkin Formby, all huge, all really talented, all highly coveted. Everybody wanted them. But playing freshmen on the offensive line is not a recipe for winning football in the SEC. Not at the level that Alabama wants to play. Not at the level that Alabama expects to play. They have to manufacture depth over there at the offensive line. Nick Saban said it much. He said, we need more depth. He said they've got 6, maybe 7 guys that they feel like they could play right now. You need more than that to get through an SEC season. There's going to be rolled ankles. There's going to be, knees that get tweaked. There's going to be everything that just the bumps and bruises of an SEC schedule that guys typically play through. But the elite teams have other linemen that they are confident in, that they can roll in and spell people, 6, 7, 8, 9 deep on some of these elite teams. You've seen it with Georgia the last couple of years, having tackles that they've been able to move in there and play, like Broderick Jones right away. When people would go down, he comes in. Then last year, Amarius Mims, when something would happen to one of the other tackles, Amarius Mims comes in and he's able to play very, very good football. Now he's going to be the starter this year for them. I think that Alabama, the offensive line is the issue. Jalen Milroe can be as dynamic as anybody in the country at different times. I'm telling you, he's going to get the first chance. He's going to be absolutely electric with his legs. And from all accounts that I'm hearing, people who have been there at practices, seen him in fall camp, seen him in the spring, says, listen, he's most consistent of anybody. He's getting better with his accuracy, being able to put the ball in places to give the receivers a chance. The receivers got to make plays, and I think they will. I think that's overblown. Like I said, you tell me I can have Isaiah Bond, Kobe Prentice, Kendrick Law, Emmanuel Henderson, and then Ja'Cory Brooks and Jermaine Burton up there, plus Malik Benson. Sign me up all day long. I think C.J. Dupree will be good at the tight end position. They also have Amari Niblack that I think can be a threat in the red zone. So I'm telling you right now, Alabama's going to be fine in terms of those weapons around them. But I'm concerned about the offensive line. So give me Jalen Milroe and his legs that he can be able to create things, because we've seen in the past, whether it's Tua, whether it's Bryce Young, those two had escapability. They weren't necessarily looking to run. Jalen Milroe can be an absolute threat. He can be the biggest, most explosive threat on Alabama's team. And I say, embrace it. Go in there, have some quarterback design runs. He's put together. He can handle the burden. But guess what? I'm not worried about if something happens, because I think Ty Simpson is going to be just fine, and I think Dylan Lonergan can end up being just fine. I think they can play winning football. they have to get the offensive line right in front of him, whoever it is. But Tommy Rees is going to bring the smoke, as the kids say. He's going to have a physical downhill mentality. He's going to set the tone early, get people going north and south, whether it's Justin Haynes, Roydell Williams, Jason McClellan, Jam Miller. I think they have an embarrassment of riches at running back. I think that their offensive line is bigger and stronger than it was a year ago in terms of the front, the starting five. So if they can lean on people early and also get people to commit more to the box, then you can get Jalen Milroe out on the perimeter. That's your success recipe for success if you're Alabama. And I think Ty Simpson is athletic enough to do some of those same things. And I think Dylan Lonergan, I've seen him run myself. I mean, he's had tremendous running performances when he was at Brookwood High School in the highest classification of football in the state of Georgia. So I'm telling you this, quarterback is not your issue, okay? Alabama has multiple quarterbacks that can play winning football. Do they have enough depth at the line of scrimmage? That is your problem right there. Can they manufacture that between now and that game against Texas, and then even furthermore into the SEC schedule? Because there's going to be problems that arise. How fast can they get some of those freshman tackles ready to play? The interior, I think they feel a little bit better with Brockermeyer, Roberts, and Ferguson, guys that can kind of move in there and play, have been around the program a little bit. But gotta figure out to manufacture some depth at those tackles in a place where you feel they can come in and won't be a detriment, and you don't have to game plan around a tackle, because that is a hard thing to do. I know you can help slide protection, you can help chip with backs and chip with tight ends and stuff like that, but that kind of takes away a little bit from what you're wanting to do out on the perimeter if you have to change up some of those blocking responsibilities with either a back or a tight end or something like that. So Jalen Milroe, I think he's going to play. I think he's going to be your starter, and I think he's going to be the guy that goes forward. If something happens, he gets hurt because he's running the football a little bit more, because I think they should have 5, 6, 7 design runs a game for him, that I feel real confident in Ty Simpson or Dylan Lonergan to come in. I don't think Tyler Buckner should have even transferred to Alabama. I don't know why he did. I think that was the biggest miscalculation of Alabama for the offseason. Let us know your thoughts. Leave your comments here. Like, subscribe, turn on notifications. We talk SEC football each and every day. We have reaction to big time commitments here. We have game day predictions. We have bold predictions. We have betting pick predictions. Everything that you need is right here on Southeastern 14. So make sure that you are a part of this. We're going to have call-in shows and all that later on in the season. So you'll get a chance to be a part of this community. Like, subscribe, turn on notifications, follow us on Twitter using @14 Southeastern. You can follow me using @BGilmer18. And we appreciate you guys checking us out for this video on Alabama football, specifically the quarterback situation, and really more important, the offensive line. We'll catch you next time here on Southeastern 14.